Day 18 of training camp. Bittersweet. This is it. What is up, Finn fans? Day 18 of training camp. This is it. Last day of training camp. Summer is gone. The Miami Dolphins are done. Now on to some real football. We got about 17 days until the kickoff against the Chargers in LA. And today was a good day by Tua. I'm telling you, from what I'm reading, from what I'm hearing, all that good stuff, it is a good day by Tua. Lit it up, did fantastic. I'm very happy with the bounce back. Hey, keep pissing him off. Keep pissing him off all year long. I want the big analysts and ESPN and NFL Network and all these guys. Keep talking crap on Tua, please. Please. Because if this is the Tua we get after you piss him off, I'll take it for 7 weeks. Screw that. I'll take that for 20 weeks. Super Bowl, baby. I hope. I don't know. I don't know nothing. I will say this, though. Before we get into, the press conferences and some updates and stuff, Ryan Clark did come out with a statement. He said, when I decided to do TV, I had two main priorities. Respect all NFL players, coaches, and executives and staff members, and earn and keep the respects of those same people. Kind of contradictory to you. Now, it's not what people are misunderstanding is it's not the joke. Ryan Clark's joke about Tua having a big butt and being a stripper in a strip club in Atlanta, that's not the joke. The joke is the thing that rubbed Tua wrong and some of the fans wrong is him saying he didn't take his off-season workout seriously and he didn't listen to his nutritionist and this and that, essentially assuming that Tua got fat, he's not fat, and that he is being lazy in the offseason, right? He continues to say those priorities are important to me, and when I miss that mark, I have to hold myself accountable. The game is difficult. Players sacrifice so much to be a part of the 1%. I have a responsibility to those players to be thoughtful in the way I present my opinion of them. And joking about Tua, I didn't meet that responsibility. It was never my intention to question Tua's work ethic or commitment to the game, but I'm also aware enough to know that intent doesn't always match impact. How something is represented isn't always how it's received by everyone. I do my best to be honest when executing my job, as well as being honest when I fall short. I fell short on Monday, and for that, I genuinely apologize. And that's that's it. Moving on. He apologized. He understood that what he said was disingenuous, and what he said it missed the mark. He understands, regardless if it took a huge backlash from the Dolphins the Dolphin fans, and even some of the beat writers. It is what it is. He apologized. We're going to move on. But yeah, I'm going to give you some updates, the usual shebang for the last day of camp. We got Mike McDaniel presser, some on-the-field stuff. I got a ton of videos because, again, it was open to the fans. It was Fan Appreciation Day. And I'm going to throw little tidbits here and there about Jonathan Taylor before we get into it. So, essentially, it was reported by Destin Adams, who is a beat writer for the Colts, that contrary to some reports, I'm being told Philadelphia Eagles have not reached out inquiring about Colts running back Jonathan Taylor at this time. So the Eagles aren't one of them. I know the rumors were out there that the Eagles were one of them. It's not one of them. Also, Barry Jackson also reiterated 2 hours ago, Dolphins remain motivated, but I am dubious whether they will cave to all the Colts' initial very high demands. They're working on it. So again, go watch earlier today's video. I released it last night. Again, some people are like, Doug, go to sleep. I'm up till like 3 o'clock. That's when I work. But anyway, go watch that video where I talk about everything. I give you all the information. I give you everything. I even talk about it. Now, I forgot to mention whether I think it's going to happen. I'm weary. I'd rather be surprised than let down. So me mentally right now, I think it's not going to happen. So if it does happen, I'm happy. But if it doesn't, I'm kind of status quo. But I will say this. The fact that the Dolphins and the Colts, and I'll reiterate because I already said this in the video, are trying to work out some type of compensation for the trade, means that JT wants to be with the Dolphins, and the Dolphins and JT came to some type of agreement or understanding on the contract he's going to get. Now, whether he's like, hey, I want $15 million, and the Dolphins are like, nope, we'll give you like 10, but it's going to be, situated a certain way. They've agreed on it because now they're on the stages of trying to get the deal done with the Colts. There you go. Update on that. Dolphins also signed linebacker A.J. Johnson and waived linebacker Mike Rose and waived injured safety Miles Dorn. Now, A.J. Johnson was with the Denver Broncos, who also was with the Denver Broncos, Vic Fangio. That's one other thing I want to touch upon before we get into Mike McDaniel. I was a big proprietor of banging the table, bringing in Dalton Risner. And I took a step back and I kind of listened and I kind of thought about it. Dalton Risner's head coach was Vic Fangio. Dalton Risner's offensive O-line coach was Butch. If these two guys aren't banging the table for Dalton Risner, and if Dalton Risner hasn't even at least visited the Dolphins, he's not going to be a Dolphin. These two guys know him better than anyone. So if they are like, nah, we can pass on him, or we like the whatever of the guys we have, he's not going to be here. So again, the Dolphins seem to be fine with the offensive line they have. Also, we got to see what happens Monday, Tuesday, because there's going to be a lot of trades this weekend. There's going to be a lot of movement this weekend because teams got to go from 90 to 53 by Tuesday. So it's going to be very interesting. But the Dolphins do sign linebacker A.J. Johnson. So Mike McDaniel, update on Zach Sealer. He says he was dealing with something that was nagging him that didn't hurt him to continue, but it was painful. It wasn't anything serious. So again, it was one of those situations where if it was a game time situation or, we're playing a big game on Sunday, he would play. Dolphins kept kept Hill out of practice as a coach to player protection thing. Kind of just take the day. Nothing serious there. Mike White remains in concussion protocol. Mike McDaniel says you're not going to see him Saturday. No word yet on whether Tua will play, but undrafted rookie James Blackman will get some snaps versus the Jaguars. He was just re-signed but didn't get a lot of reps. What an opportunity for a guy who deserves it, Mike McDaniel said. McDaniel, who asked about the Dolphins' reported trade offer for Jonathan Taylor. Here's the thing about reports. I think my 2.5-year-old daughter just tweeted a report. I said this before. I'm not going to speak about players. Again, they try to get information out of Mike McDaniel. He can't. He can't talk about these players because they're under contract with another team. That's considered some type of tampering. He's not going to talk about it. Asked about reports. I'm not going to speak on other players. Chris Grier's job is to work. He works at it a lot and keeps me abreast when things are real. Again, that's Chris Grier. Essentially, this is what happens. And I've said this before. The head coach goes to the GM and says, hey, we need help in this area. Or, hey, I noticed so-and-so's available. I'd love him on the team. I think he would make this team better. Go and try to get him. And then the GM says, I'll see what I can do. And then the GM does his thing, goes back to the head coach. Hey, on that player you wanted. So I kind of tried this, and that. And this is what they're offering, but I don't think that's a good enough offer, or I think that's too much. What's your thoughts? And then the head coach normally says, hey, whatever you think. I don't need him that bad, but it'd be awesome to have him. Okay, I'll see what I can do. Like, I bet you $20 the whole Dalvin Cook situation. He went to Mike McDaniel and said, look, we put this, this offer on the table for Dalvin. He thinks it's too low. He wants double that amount. And then Mike McDaniel was probably like, can you come up a little bit? And then I bet you Chris Grier was like, listen, Jonathan Taylor's available, and I'm going to call about Josh Jacobs. And then Mike McDaniel was like, all right, cool. As long as you get me a top back, I'm fine. That's how it works. Mike McDaniel said Raekwon Davis will wear the orange jersey. It's the first time he kind of announced it in the presser. He is the best shape of his life by far, and you can see it in his play. He's adding different tools to his game. While Tua Tagovailoa will Tua play Saturday against the Jaguars? Mike McDaniel says the starting point was more than a series, less than half for all starters, but adds that's subject to change. So his thought process is more than a series, but definitely not playing the first half. It seems like the third preseason game has now become the third preseason game when there was 4. Because, Aaron Rodgers is going to be playing. Supposedly Trevor Lawrence is going to be playing. So, again, they get 2 weeks off. So you kind of want them to be fresh in that aspect. Dolphins head coach said the Jaguars playing their starters doesn't change the approach for Miami. Now, unless Jacksonville's box score during the season affects our box score, which I don't think we can borrow points or subtract points. Essentially saying this doesn't mean anything. So the fact that they're playing starters, it doesn't really pertain to if I'm going to play my starters or not. Talked about Tua. He said Tua is twice as strong as he was previously due to the offseason strength program. You want to talk about somebody who's committed to doing what he's doing for the right reason. He was already committed before the year, but he really put an onus on controlling what he can control. You want to talk about every metric that Dave Polka and his staff track, every metric of strength that is measured. He shattered his previous highs. In some instances, he's almost twice as strong. I couldn't be happier with the work he's put in. Essentially saying he's better than he was last year when it comes to his physical attributes and when it comes to him and how he is physically. So all these people are like, he's fat, this and that, are just wrong. Plain and simple. In response to Ryan Clark, he says, we're getting the absolute best version of Tua that existed. He's taken his nutrition to another level. He's taken his commitment to what he's trying to do and really thought outside the box and really worked at it. So I couldn't be happier with the work he has put in. And that's kind of what he talked about. Some other news and notes from around the NFL, though. The Cardinals traded Isaiah Simmons to the Giants, right? That's not why my face is this way. My face is this way because for a 7th round pick. A 7th. Now, Isaiah Simmons is a good linebacker / DB. He's good. He's definitely worth higher than a 7th round pick. They gave him for nothing. And a little information on Alexander Johnson. He in 2020, Johnson started 16 games, recorded 124 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 5 QB hits, a sack, and 2 forced fumbles. Who was their head coach when he did this? Vic Fangio. And then Barry Jackson also talked about from earlier, Dolphins made trade offer for Jonathan Taylor. Organization fully on board with that. Is the right guy for them to trade if they can work out. Plus, Cam Smith-Wilkins' lack of sacks has been an obstacle in reaching a money deal. And I've talked about this. I like Christian Wilkins. I think Christian Wilkins I want to keep him. I think he's a team leader, and he's a top 5, if not number 1, run-stopping defensive tackle. But he wants to get paid as an all-around defensive tackle. He's not an all-around defensive tackle because he's around 30th-ish in pass rush defensive tackle. You want 20+ million, but your production doesn't, warrant 20+ million. It's more around 18 million. We'll see if they can get the money. We will see. Chris Kaufman also said, before we get to on-the-field stuff that I found very interesting, guys like A.J. Johnson, Bryce Callahan, Akeem Hicks are why I'm not stressed about perceived lack of depth on Miami's defensive positions. Greer and Marvin Allen can try out their acorns and still, at the end of the day, fill a lot of depth of Fangio's defense with Fangio's guys. Essentially saying there's still guys out there. So, that's what I got for you. Off the field stuff. Now I got some on the field stuff. This is going to be a long one. But it's the last day of camp, so why the flip not? So, like I said, Tua had a sharp day. Tua Tagovailoa completed 8-yard pass to Braxton Berrios for a borderline touchdown, then picking up a blitz and lofting a beautiful 4-yard back shoulder pass to Robbie Chosen for a touchdown. In subsequent 2-minute drills, Tua drove the Dolphins quickly down the field, delivering a target pass to Tyreek Hill for 10 yards, Julian for 9, and then Hill again for an 8-yard touchdown, a play which showed great timing between a quarterback and his star receiver. The Dolphins then ran another 2-minute drill with Tua, and he completed a pass to Hill to get Miami down to the 11, and then he threw 2 incompletions, including one over the head of Julian Hill. Tua then delivered 3 completions in a row to Robbie Chosen during yet another 2-minute drill. 2 of them for at least 15. And then Tua threw incomplete to Raheem Mostert, who was slightly off on a throw to Tanner Conner. Then he hit Eric Izukoma for a first down. Then Tua hit Braxton Berrios for a 14-yard gain. The drive ended with a 2-yard strike to Cedric Wilson Jr. in the back of the end zone for a touchdown on the final play of training camp. Wilson then dunked the ball over the goalpost. Also, Tua hit Eric Izukoma, and Savon Ahmed for a touchdown in 7-on-7 red zone drills. Both were precise passes, but Tyreek Hill dropped what should have been an easy touchdown pass from Tua. Tyreek made up for it later with a handful of receptions. Coach McDaniel said Thursday he was leaning towards playing Tua for a series, if not against the Jaguars. So again, keep pissing Tua off. Please make him mad, because he went off today in camp. Mike White is in the last stage of concussion protocol. Briefly appeared in 11-on-11 action. He's not playing the preseason final on Saturday against Jacksonville. I will say this about Mike White. Say the Dolphins do cut him. And I'm not saying they will. I'm not saying they won't. That video will be out probably this weekend. Maybe Sunday or Monday, where I predict the 53-man roster for the Dolphins. If they do cut him, there's no dead cap. They just, here's your money. Thank you for coming for training camp. Have a nice day. Will they do that? I'm not saying they won't. Skylar Thompson had 2 nice red zone completions to Braxton Berrios. One went for a touchdown. A well-thrown 30-yard pass to River Craycraft was dropped. Thompson hit Alec Ingold for a 10-yard touchdown during 7-on-7 drills. The Dolphins practiced without Eric Sorbert with a leg injury. Defensive lineman Zach Sealer, leg not serious, rode a bike. Kind of told you that in the press conference. Corner Jalen Ramsey, obviously. Justin Bethel, leg in a brace. He's probably not going to make the team. Devon A changed shoulder. Deshaun Hand has wrapping around his leg. Braylon Sanders and knee bruise. Running back Jeff Wilson wasn't spotted. Jalen Waddle, who missed 2 weeks with a midsection injury, was at practice in a jersey, but no helmet. Cornerback Eli Apple made a great play stopping Tyreek Hill at the line of scrimmage on a screen pass from Skylar Thompson. I like that these guys are able to put their differences aside and actually, face each other and not be, they're probably off the field, talked, and squashed that stuff. AVG forced the Tua dump off with good pressure up the middle. Van Ginkel had a very good camp, including multiple sacks on Wednesday. David Long Jr. stuffed the Raheem Mostert run for a short gain. I am not surprised by that. A snap from rookie center Alma Olave bounced off of James Blackman's knees. They had another bad exchange again later. McKinley facing an uphill climb to stick on the 53 made 2 very good plays, including a pass break up for River Craycraft in the end zone. He also stopped Ingold short of the end zone on a completion. Tanner Conner, off the pup, was heavily involved for the second day in a row. He caught a 15-yard pass from Skylar Thompson. We'll probably see a lot of Tanner Conner on Saturday. Javon Holland knocked away a pass to Julian Hill. Raekwon Davis had a sack. His pass rush seems to have improved during his training camp. He had the one big sack year at Alabama with 8.5, but hasn't been a factor with the pass rush in the NFL. Safety Deshaun Elliott tumbled on the ground after a collision with Durham Smythe, but he got up quick. Smythe was fine, caught a pass later in the day. Early practice, quarterback, defensive back, wide receiver drills. White made a nice 30-yard throw to Braxton Berrios for a touchdown, beating Cade or Kohu in coverage. Also in those drills, Blackman hit Julian Hill for a 6-yard touchdown. And that's some on-the-field stuff. Now, again, Tua was hot. Defense was doing its thing. It was a good day in camp, in my opinion. You want that up and down. You want that back and forth. You want all that good stuff. Now I got some video for you. Now we got some from Bobby Souse. We got some from King of Finland. We got some from Tommy from Hialeah. Billy from Booton. We got a bunch of videos. So we're going to get into it. This is, which play is this? Oh, this is the one where Tyreek Hill dropped the pass. Let's check this out. Motion. You got to catch that. The timing was there. See, he throws it where it's gonna be. The timing's there. You gotta make that catch. You gotta make that catch. This is Tua Tagovailoa on the sideline. Got the feet down there. This one is, I don't know. Let's just watch it. There's to Eric. Kolmakama. People don't understand I have a Jersey accent. So I say like coffee and call. Comma. Just leave me alone. Leave me alone. Nice step up. That definitely would have been a sack. I don't know who this is, but that definitely would have been a sack. Oh, nice to work on the step up. Nice play there. This is Tua to Braxton for touchdown. Same play, different angle. Same play, different angle. And we have Tua for another touchdown. I swear, if this is the same play, different angle. No, it's a different play. Pressure. Just like you couldn't do it any better. Boom. See, and that's when you want to throw it. The whole spot throwing narrative is so dumb to me. How it's a negativity. As soon as he goes up and he goes to turn, you want that ball out. Because if you throw it at him, the DB's going to punch it out. Boom. See how he's ready to throw? Arms cocked back because he's about to break. He's got this whole area here. It's perfect. Great throw. This is Cheetah. Tua to Cheetah for a touchdown. A little motion here from Mostert. Oh, what a throw. What a throw. Again, he knows. The route is a fade to the end zone. He has his DB on his left side. What do? You throw a back shoulder to the right side and let your guy get it. As soon as he turns his head and sees the ball, he's like, oh, it's a back shoulder. Reposition the body. And that was on Xavier Howard. I will say this. That was good coverage by Xavier Howard. See how he's on him? But it's just a good throw. You want to throw to the back shoulder. You don't throw to here because you're going to hit Xavier Howard in the head or an interception. It's just, you couldn't throw a better pass. That's why he's so proficient in the red zone. Tua to Tyreek over the middle. Nice. Got Jerome looking. And that's what this is for, right? You're playing zone here. The pass, and I'm not saying Tua did it, but it's predetermined, right? Tyreek's here. Tyreek's here. Tyreek is here. He's going to be running like a comeback route in the middle of the field. So what the offense does, and what Mike McDaniel draws up, is I'm going to move Mostert here and have Mostert run a route here to pull Jerome Baker off of where Tyreek Hill is going to run his comeback route to give Tua the lane. That's exactly what he does. Motion here, right? Because Jerome Baker is now focusing on Mostert's route. See how he turns his back? And that gives Tyreek Hill the area to catch the ball. It's good play design. It's good play design. That's all that is. Plain and simple. This one says Tua on the move. If this was a real game, he's putting his shoulder in the chest of the DB. Oh, God. Shotgun, 2 wide receivers. Or he's taking a big hit. I like, though, that he's keep having that mentality, because there was a lot of games last year, even the game where he got the concussion against the Cincinnati Bengals, where he rolled out to the left and he had like 5 seconds and there was no one near him. And he was like trying to figure out what to do. That's what you do. You just run, take off, get some yards, slide, live to play another down. Good play by him. This is a screen to Durham Smythe. Braxton, big handoff. Nice little play. It's hard to really see if that screen was going to be anything, just because no one's really tackling hard. So, and then this is how they ended practice. This is the touchdown to Cedric Wilson Jr. Right here. Run a slant. Inside. That's how they ended practice. Again, it's a very good combination of, you have this receiver running in, you have this receiver out, you have Cedric running in, and essentially what it does is it forces Kader Kohou to kind of run into Eli Apple. It's a legal pick, because while he goes in, you got that crossing, and then Eli Apple kind of has to worry about not running into his guy. So, touchdown. Good day. Yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Again, really nice bounce back from the offense. Really lightening up from what I'm hearing too. I had chained together a bunch of good practices, and to end practice and end training camp on such a high note is awesome. I'll talk more about who I expect to see on Saturday tomorrow in the preview for the game. I will be live Saturday, 6:45 like usual. But yeah, this is it. Now we start to finalize our roster, and then we start getting ready for the Chargers. Football's almost here. 17 days. Crazy. But comment below. Let me know what you think. What do you think about everything I talked about when it came to Ryan Clark, when it came to more Jonathan Taylor news, when it came to what Mike McDaniel said? Comment below. Let me know what you think of all that. What do you thought of practice? And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Well, like usual, stay classy. Offense up.